Okay, for starters, we need a nice, clean, even base, and I'm trying to do this quickly, so I'm going to be using 30 volume as well as foil because I'm trying to cut the time down. Now, if you are not a professional and if you're new with using bleach, I recommend using 20 volume or lower and no foil. But hey, I'm just a girl on the internet. I'm a licensed professional girl on the internet, but do your thing, 21. I can't tell you what to do. Now, I am going to be pouring my developer first before I do my powder bleach because it helps to blend better. That's just a quick little pro tip, because if you do have like little pockets or air bubbles or any type of powder still mixed into your mixture, it's going to affect how even your color, well, how even the bleach lifts. You can have like splotchiness, and that's just not cute. We don't do none of that. And as you mix, you want to gradually add developer because I want it to be the consistency of yogurt. So just mix, 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 and here we have it. Now this next part is crucial to the blending of my leave out. I am not a lace closure, lace anything girly anymore, so I need my bundles to blend, and I also want my color. So I'm lightly, very lightly teasing the wefts, and I'm going to do that on both sides because again, we need this hair to blend with my leave out because my hair ain't blonde. And excuse my voice, I am like healing from a cold or allergies, something, child, I don't know. But yes, teasing it is going to help to cover any type of lines of demarcation. So when I comb all the hair down and detangle it all, it's nice and gradual blend. All right, now I told you I was trying to get through this coloring process quickly. I couldn't even be bothered with a mixing bowl, okay? So I'm just gonna pour the bleach onto the bundles and repeat after me. Saturation, okay? You need to saturate those bundles. You should not be able to tell what color the bundle is originally because it should either be white, green, blue, whatever color the bleach you're using is. That's how much bleach you should be putting on your bundles. If you think you have enough, add some more. I'm telling you, because you want to make sure it is saturated because that's going to ensure that it's even. And you want to spread it in a vertical and horizontal motions as you see me doing, because that's going to open the hair up so you can really get all in between those wefts to make sure you're coating every strand with bleach, because what is our keyword? Saturation, okay? And you saw me do a little flicking motion at the top of the bundle. What I did there is to just add more feathering so that when it blends with my leave out, it's a nice it's a nice even blend, so that it'll kind of give like you colored all your hair and it just naturally grew out like that. Yeah, that's how I like to do color. It just looks so natural. Anyway, and once you're done with that, you're gonna flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Because why? What's the keyword? Saturation, okay? Okay, so don't be like me, y'all. Why? Well, okay, let me backtrack. So I told you that I was doing the foil so that I can have the heat in so it can lift quicker. Yes, it all is correct. Why did I go and check my foils and this is what it looks like? It's been sitting on here for almost 40 minutes. It should be so much lighter than that. And I'm like, what's going on? It dawned on me. This countertop is granite or marble. No, it's marble. Either way, it's some type of tile, some type of stone, and I'm in the basement. It's cold. What's going to happen? There's not going to be any heat on that foil because it's sitting on a cold countertop. So it's making my bleaching process take longer. Don't be like me. When I'm going in to resaturate, I was expecting it to already be yellow, some form of yellow. It is still brown. And yes, that is because the countertops are cold, so it's slowing down the bleaching process. But either way, you live, me learn, things happen. I went back in, I resaturated, and here we are at the rinsing stage. And so once all the bleach is rinsed out, I'm using a neutralizing shampoo, something to stop the chemical process of the bleach, because just because you rinse any chemical off, that does not mean the chemicals stop working. You need to have something to bring the pH balance back down. Yeah, it's a whole science to it, but make sure you use something that helps with neutralizing that chemical. It will say neutralizing shampoo on it. Then you want to follow up with a moisturizing shampoo because you want to bring that moisture back in to soften up the hair, because bleach is really stripping. Any type of chemical is very stripping on hair. Now for this color specifically, I need it to be a level 8, and in plain terms, I just need it to be like a yellow color because that's what's going to take for the color I'm going to be using. Now here's where it gets fun. I used 2 different colors on the bundles, but the way I applied it is I put half the bundle with one color and the other half of the bundle in the second color, so when I fold the bundle back together to sew it on double weft, it's just a beautiful dimensional looking color. Now I did not mention specific products because I am licensed, so if you are not a student or a licensed cosmetologist, you don't have access to these colored products and chemical products. But the techniques are all still the same regardless of what products you use. Now, when it comes to how long it took for this to lift and to get the yellow that I needed, that completely depends on the type of products you're using as far as the quality, as well as the quality of the hair. I use raw Indian hair. I have my own vendor. If you want to have your own vendor, you want or looking for some good quality raw hair, I do have one vendor that is like the holy grail. It's down in the description. You can purchase that. But yes, there is no specific time frame. You just have to continue to monitor it as it's lifting to make sure it's reaching whatever level you need it to be for whatever color you're trying to achieve. And like I said, the color you saw at the beginning, I needed to be at a level 8/yellow. And if you are a cosmetologist, a student, or you're just interested in what I'm doing and you want someone professional to your color, I will have the formula down in the description as well, as long with all the products that I'm using. But here we are, all done with the coloring process. I just love how these colors complement each other, and the light that is bouncing off of them, giving that natural shine. Chef's kiss. Okay, now let's move on to the layering, because your girl likes some curls, and you cannot have curls without layers. Okay, I'm really starting to get excited because the hair is installed. It's freshly blow dried and detangled. Make sure you do that so you can have a nice clean cut. And please bear with me. This is my first time doing a cutting anything on camera, so I tried to make sure I got good angles. But yeah, anyway, we're going to start with our face framing layers just so it can be our base and a guide for the rest of our layers. So I sectioned out a small piece in the front for like my side bang area. Now, this easy way to get a clean cut is to chase the comb with your fingers. That way you know exactly how you're going and where you're going to cut. So I wanted an angle, so I angled my comb and I chased the comb with my fingers, and I'm going to hold that section really tight so that I don't lose the tension of the hair, so when I cut, it's nice and even. Now your hand is holding the shears. You're also going to have the shears parallel to your fingers that you're holding the hair with. You're going to be holding the hair with your index finger and your middle finger. Your middle finger, you're going to notice here in this video that it's going to just slightly glide up my other finger that I'm holding the shears with. That is what's going to guide you when you're cutting and sliding down the hair. That way you don't lose where you're going and it's even. So once you get to that top knuckle, you just slide your fingers down some. Obviously the hair that you just previously cut is going to fall out. That's fine. We're doing a sliding technique. You're just going to continue to slide and cut, and using your fingers as a guide to when to move down. I hope that makes sense. But again, you can see it, and then you're just going to continue to grab hair from the back section gradually and continue this until you get all the way to the bottom. So now that I have my nice clean cut on one side, now that was a lot of information, a lot of technique, a lot of, I tried to make it simple, but if that was too much for you, the other side, I'm just going to do the same type of cut, a sliding cut, but I'm literally just going to take the hair, cut, and slide as I cut. Again, I'm still going to follow the same technique as far as chasing the comb so I can get the right angle. But as long as you're keeping your fingers angled properly, the hair is going to cut in the right shape that you want it. And you're still going to be using your finger as a guide because, again, we want that angle cut. But we're just going to free slide instead of using our index finger or middle finger to guide the other. All of that. I just got a text message. Sorry if you heard it. But yeah, you're going to do the same thing until you get all the way to the bottom again, pulling small sections from the back. And then once you get that done, you will have your guide for the rest of your layers. I don't know if you remember me saying that from the beginning. That's why I always start with my face framing, just so it has a nice established guide and everything is even. So that first little section at the front, that is where our layer is going to start. And yes, it's going to be a lot of hair. You have to cut the hair to get the layers. But we're going to take another small section at that same front area, and we're going to comb the hair again, following our comb with our fingers, and we're going to pull up and outwards. And where that first layer starts, right there, that is where you're going to start cutting from. That is the guide. I like to just flip the hair over because, again, I'm cutting it myself. So it just helps me see better when I flip the hair overwards. But I'm still using that guide. I'm still holding the hair tight so none of the hair is shifting. It's going to fall exactly where I want it in layers. And I'm not doing a smooth cut. I'm doing kind of a sliding cut as well. It's a little chaotic, if I say so myself, but it just helps to have the hair give it more volume and flow. And when I wear it straight, it's not straight. I don't like just bone straight hair. My hair gotta have some volume. Okay, so we're gonna give like some type of jagged cutting. And so you're going to take a small section. Once you finish with that section, you're going to take a small section from there as well as another section from the back, and you're going to bring that together. And that is going to be your guide for the rest and around the rest of your head. So the hair that you just cut, you're going to cut the rest of the hair to that. And you're going to see it is short, because when you cut layers, you are going to cut the hair. So as you see, I'm going to cut all of that, but I'm cutting it at an angle. I'm not chopping all of that hair off. Granted, a good amount is about to go, okay, because I'm going to do some layers. But because my original guide, I cut at an angle, I'm just following the guide that I already made, and that is at an angle. Girl, this section is getting so long. But I really wanted to show you in real time what it looks like to cut layers in your hair. I didn't really speed too much of it up until, after I finished explaining, because I want you to see. This really takes time. You really have to take your time if you want it to be right, because, again, this is your hair. This is what people are going to see before they see anything else. First impressions matter. But now I'm going to go in and cross-check. So you're going to do all the same sections, but you're going to pull the hair straight up, and you're going to cut anything that does not align with everything else, as you just saw me do. And I'm going to just do that around the entire hair. We're going to bring the hair straight up, combing straight. You want to make sure when you're combing this or brushing it, I just professionally recommend using a comb when you're cutting your layers, but you want to cut those areas where you see that it's like little frayed hairs up in between, but you want to make it a nice even line like so. And yeah, that's pretty much really all it is to layering. It's a lot of patience, it's a lot of cutting, and it's a lot of repetition, but it can also be a lot of fun once you really get the hang of it. It's not going to be perfect your first try, especially if you're a beginner at just doing your own hair or cutting layers in general. But it is so rewarding once you really get the hang of it and you start getting more comfortable with cutting the hair off, because, girl, you got to cut the hair if you want layers and you want those curls to be nice and flowy and not fall into waves. But yeah. And the thing about layers is, even if you don't cut it properly and it's not the most even or whatever the case may be, with layers in your hair, whenever you curl it, every time it's curled, it's going to look good, because the hair is not going to be just even. Of course, when your hair is straight, you want it to be nice and even. But with curls are more messy, curls are more flowy and more lived in and just give more motion. So if your layers are not the best, that's completely fine. Just wear your hair curled. And then once you get the hang of cutting your layers, which means you have to continue to keep cutting layers when you get your hair done and when you do your hair, you will eventually get the hang of it, and then you can learn and really wear your hair any way you want. Okay, so as I wrap up cutting these layers, here's one extra tip that I did not mention. If you point cut, which is what you're going to see me do here, so when I'm taking my shears and literally pointing them directly into the hair and cutting in like a jagged motion, that just gives the hair more volume, more movement, and it just helps to make the hair look more even, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense, but again, you see what I'm doing. I try to make sure I got the angles for you, girl. Okay, so now we're all layered up. We are almost done. let's get to curling. I'm going in with this hairspray that needs to focus. Okay, my Kenra hairspray. This is about level 13, which means it is very light holding spray, and I just spray that all over my hair opposed to going in and spraying each section. I only do that because this is raw Indian hair. Good hair does not require a lot of products. But yeah, also if you see me talking, my best friend is sitting right next to me. Now I'm going to give you the most important tip to curling your hair. I think this is going to solve almost all of curling problems that people have, with curls falling, curls just not lasting, curls not coming out the way you want them to, or the hair not curling at all. And the thing that I'm noticing is people are just improperly curling their hair. One, they are not allowing the hair to get hot. The hair needs to be hot in order for the curl to start forming. It's a whole science behind it. I can go into that in another video, but I'm not going to do that here. But there is a science behind it. So you need to make sure the hair is hot. Hair forms with heat and water. That's why we mold our hair with water when we want to change its form, and we also use heat when we want to change the form, i.e. going from straight to curl. People are not allowing the curl to be hot. Hot. You see, that hair was hot. But the way you allow that is as you curl and bring the hair into the curling iron, you see, I'm waiting before I continue wrapping the hair. That's giving the hair time to actually get some heat to it before I stuff all of this hair into this curling iron. Each time I swivel that curling iron to add more hair, I'm waiting a second. And then once I finish getting all of that hair into the barrel, I'm holding it. You should be able to feel the heat through the hair. That's how you know the curl is done. Also, your sections need to be the same size as the barrel. If your section is too small, your curl will be flimsy. And if it's too thick, the curl will barely be there at all. So if you're using a 1-inch barrel, you need to have about 1 inch of hair. Now when it comes to this front section, that bang area, you want to lift it straight up and curl from there. That's going to give you that nice curled like volume right in the front. And then you are done with the curls. I like to take my fingers and finger comb them out because that just gives the volume. That just, yeah, I'm already feeling myself. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this hair, the color, the style, all the things, if you're going to try this at home. And I will see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.